What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome to the King-Abrams show. Dr. Brian King,
No,
there you are.
I was jamming to our theme song. I was getting down, man.
Yeah, it's a catchy little tune.
It is.
You
It's
were
nice.
jamming. Meanwhile, I was like putting away all the non-classy shit that I'm doing over here.
Yeah. It's the non-classy stuff that we're here to talk about and celebrate. On
this show. That was my purpose with it.
Yeah, there we go. If we wanted class, we'd watch, I don't know, whatever, we'd watch Dr. Phil.
Is he classy?
I don't know, but that's the only show I could think of where pretty much. I don't think Dr. Phil's classy. Now I think about it, he's the one who gave us Bad Baby.
I think he tries to be classy. I saw Dr. Phil in person last year on Hollywood Boulevard. He was, I don't know, he was speaking at some little event they were having.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, that guy looks exactly like a white, refined Mr. Potato Head. Like his face is so put together.
Wow.
It's that shit. His face is transactional.
You think he goes home and pulls the mustache off, there's a little hole right there.
I don't know what's happening, Hey, I've had my share of plastic surgery. We'll see how far I go.
Dr. Phil, I'm sorry I brought him up, but Dr. Phil is interesting because he first of all he doesn't have a doctorate in psychology, and he's not a clinical psychologist. He's got this whole career, and it all started because he was coaching Oprah on a lawsuit. He was a consultant. Oprah was getting sued by a company actually here in Texas, where I am. And so he was coaching her on what to say and what to do for her court appearance, and she liked his mannerisms. She liked the way he talked and the little phrases he used and stuff like that. And so that was where their relationship started. And so next thing you know, he's on TV. He's got a show, and he's like a guru of like weight loss and all kinds of helping weight. But he doesn't have a clinical background.
We call him Dr. Phil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess
way to go, Hollywood.
Yeah. No, he has it. I think he does have a doctorate, but it's not. It's not like you would assume that somebody doing the type of show that he does would be a clinical psychologist.
I wonder what his doctorates are in.
Probably. I think it's like sports. No, I'm kidding. I think it's like ed psych or something.
You got a doctorate in toenails or something.
Yeah. It's not entirely unrelated, but the point is that that's not the work he was doing when he met Oprah, and Oprah was just like, I like the way this guy presents himself, I'm gonna put him on TV. Boom,
put this
career.
guy on TV.
So I'm here in Texas, and I'm a doctor and with a legitimate doctorate, and I'm just waiting on my Oprah. That's what I'm doing.
Waiting on your Oprah moment, opportunity.
I'm just walking around.
Your doctorate is in psychology, and you have a specialty in sexual behaviors. What does that mean? And that specialty is that?
It means that I'm qualified with a little bit of training. I'm qualified to serve coffee at Starbucks. That's what that means. So when you get a doctorate in anything, and you have that degree, your specialty area simply refers to like what I did my dissertation on, like the research that I conducted, so it's not like there's specific jobs for people with a doctorate, with a specialty in human sexuality. I write books, I could write articles, I could consult with people on sexual matters, things like that, but ultimately I'm a psychologist, There are people out there, and this bugs me. And since this is my forum, since I have this opportunity, I'll share this, even though nobody cares. There are people out there who call themselves sexologists, right? I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate that because you're not a sexologist. You got your degree in sociology, psychology, anthropology, economics. You got your degree in something else. And you concentrated your research on sex, and now you're calling yourself a sexologist. I don't know. It just seems so contrived.
Well, I think it works. It is kind of sly, but for the layman, it's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah. No.
So tell me this: in your research, with sexual behaviors, what was probably the most I would say, exciting or risque type of experiment, because I read couple of books by Masters and Johnsons.
Yeah.
And there was a series, I think, on HBO or Cinemax too, depicting their research, and they did some really wild shit with human specimens. What did you do
I really.
crazy?
So Masters and Johnson and Kinsey ruined sex research for the rest
Is
of us.
that right?
Let me tell you, because well, they did some crazy shit, and like Masters and Johnson would observe people having sex. Kinsey and his research assistants would actually pair people up and have sex with each other and study things. There was there was scientific value in that, but there was also problems, and those problems were presented, and people took issues with the way that research was conducted. So now it's virtually impossible to do that kind of like fun, sex research
Oh, right.
that they were
Yeah.
doing. But it's also not necessary because they did it. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like. So for me, the probably the most risque research I ever did was I was looking at sexual arousal and what happens to your body when you become aroused. And so I had to figure out a way to arouse people, and still comply with the human subjects boards and all that. So what I did was I had an experiment where people will go into a room by themselves, open up an envelope, and in that envelope there was some instructions on what to do, and there was a videotape. And you plug the videotape into the VCR, you start watching some porn. Now I had to trust that they hooked themselves up to the machines properly, that they followed the directions like I wanted them to and stuff. And then when everything is done, they filled out the surveys, put the porn away, and then left. And the research assistant that was working with me had no knowledge of what they were doing in the room. Like everything was private for their safety and anonymity, whatever. Yeah, that was about the most risque thing I ever did. Was
And then you were observing them the whole time on camera?
Well, I wish that would have been something. Again, Masters and
Boring.
Johnson. Yeah, Masters Johnson screwed us out of that. No, I had to rely that on their self-report data that they left for me in the envelope, that they did everything according to the instructions. It's possible. It's always possible that they went in a room, ignored my instructions, just jotted down a bunch of notes, like maybe didn't even watch the video or sat there doing whatever. You know what I mean? It's possible that they didn't follow. Yeah. They just went in there and whacked it for a half hour. This is one of the limitations without having direct observation of people while they're engaging in otherwise private moments. So yeah, but that was good research. That was fun though.
So how have you been? How's your week been? How are you and Sarah doing?
Man, we're good.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't know. This past week, I was thinking about sexual behavior this past week, and it's I don't know. It's like you can only explore so much. You can only do so much, and you only have so much time for things. And Sarah and I have actually been super busy this week, so we haven't had sex in as much as we usually do. And even earlier today, I was actually kind of complaining about that, and I don't mean to be like I was, oh man, I don't have enough sex. I mean, like I was talking to Sarah, I was like, I think it's been like a couple of days since we've done anything, She's like, oh really? I hadn't noticed. I'm like, well, I'm the guy. All right. like I'm the one with the stronger drive, you're the one with all the resources, and I'm the one that wants to get in there, so.
So 2 days is a long time for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for you, motherfuckers. Okay. Yeah. No, hey, I think I'm doing a lot with my 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I think you're doing, as long as you're not having complaints. And that's the thing. Like Sarah doesn't have any complaints. Like she didn't even notice that it had been a few days. And I'm the one who's going, hey, come on, daddy needs his medicine.
Yeah. When we get busy as women, we kind of forget that piece.
Yeah.
And then when we get a moment of stillness, that's when we remember.
Yeah. Well, as a guy too, it's like I feel like I can't function in my day if I don't at least drop one in the morning. You know what I mean? Like Like it's like whether or not she's helping me or I just got to take care of it myself.
Right.
And the same, it's like it's hard to fall asleep, unless you
Yeah.
let one go at night. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
so that's not. But sex.
And what's worse is when you plan on doing it at night and then you're too tired and fall asleep.
Oh yeah, that has happened to me.
Feeling
Oh
in the
my God.
morning like, I didn't get one.
How the hell can I be so boring at lovemaking that I put myself asleep? That has happened. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
and not finish. It's like,
Yeah.
what a loser,
I know. Who can't get themselves off?
Damn, you had one job. It's midnight. You have one job.
That's it. That's it. Hey,
That's what I feel like in the morning. And then for me, I don't know if it's like just a biological thing, maybe I think it's purely biological. For me, the morning you call drop one, the morning it's not preferred.
Yeah, I can see that.
For some reason, it's just not as intense. I like to give it a couple of hours.
Yeah. I think when the thing is when men wake up, generally we wake up with a very strong urge to relieve ourselves, and that pressure is sometimes confusing to the old brain. It's like oh, I don't know if this urge is sexual or just like I gotta pee. So I think our brain kind of can go either way. And that's that's kind of where the morning urge comes from. And there's always it's morning wood. That's the thing. I don't know what the female equivalent of morning wood would be. Morning.
You know what's really crazy? I don't know that we have that same. Like I can't compare my urge to urinate to my urge to want to have an orgasm. Like they are just on two separate sides of the spectrum. However, when I got my breast augmentation, I did a lot of research about what to expect. And there is this phenomenon that women experience, and we call it morning wood. So in the morning, my nipples would be hard, and maybe that made me a little aroused. I don't know. It was kind of like, which came first, the arousal or the hard nipples? But there was morning wood for the first couple months. It's a real thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. It could be like feedback, biofeedback that you're getting from, my nipples are hard. I must be feeling a little horny.
Must be feeling, which comes first.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah, morning wood. So I can almost relate.
Well, if I can kind of relate to that, but now I got to get breast implants to see if it works.
Don't do that. Oh, so we are talking about marriage again tonight, and we are talking about the pandemic again tonight. Of course, we started our show during a pandemic, so that is always affecting things, our love lives, our show topics. And so tonight's guest is comedian actress Daphnique Springs, very talented comedian. And so we're waiting on her to arrive still.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's not there yet?
She's not there yet.
You need me to
she's not here yet. Huh?
I say you need me to stretch. No.
Yeah, I think we're gonna both stretch, and hopefully we can she can get here before the show ends.
That's
Otherwise, we'll just talk about her.
I've never met her, and I'm not that familiar with her career, so that would be your one woman show, basically, if you want to talk about. She'll show up.
No, she's very talented. Daphnique performs all over the country. She is often at the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store. She is what you would consider a heavy hitter. I think that's her coming in right now. There she is.
Yay. See how hard she's hitting as she walks.
Yeah, she hits hard. And so tonight we are talking about marriage. And so what are we talking about? So I was trying to figure out what topic for the show for Daphnique, and I try to choose a topic based on my guest and like what I know about them. And one day Daphnique and I went hiking, And like that was the last time we hung out because I don't fuck with hiking. I tried. But we were talking about marriage that day, and I won't divulge everything we talked about, but that's the reason I came up with tonight's topic. So I read an article. Several people released an article from New York Times to Congress. Apparently, people during this pandemic, it's been about 15, 16 months, the divorce, first of all, the marriage rate has been declining since the 80s in the United States of America. And so apparently during the pandemic, that decline has slowed down. So people are not getting married. And then, the decline has slowed down.
So how does a decline slow down? You mean, so it's like,
we're at sort of a plateau.
Yeah. Plateaued. It hasn't changed.
Right. So people are just pausing. They're not getting married and they're not getting divorced.
You know, I actually know a couple, and this is like the saddest thing I ever saw. One of the saddest things I ever saw. I know a couple who got married during the pandemic, and they lived together already, which already I'm like, why bother even having a wedding? You know, they're like, oh, our wedding was canceled because of the pandemic. So then we like live streamed like ceremony where they're getting married in their kitchen. Like they're the only two people there, and like their friends can watch it. And I'm like, why are you doing this? You know, it was a sad.
Yeah, I would have paused. I would have placed pause.
I've been like, just wait. Okay. Right. You already live together. None of us care. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this? So that was pretty cool.
I'd like to bring our guest on now. So guys, everybody, warm welcome for comedian actress Daphnique Springs. Everybody, super happy to have you on the show.
Hey.
You have about 3 cameras trained on you.
Oh, great.
You look beautiful. So you've been
from every angle.
Say that again, Dr. Brankin.
3 cameras on her. She looks angle.
Yeah, she looks great in all 3 angles. So yeah, do you remember that hike we did and we were talking about getting older and getting married? Do you remember that conversation?
Not verbatim.
No. But where are you with that? Are you looking for a husband? Are you up for whatever happens? Where are you with marriage in general?
I'm okay with getting married as long as my husband makes more money than me.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Not as much, more. He has to make much more.
More.
Yeah.
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 It has to match my ambition.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think that's misinterpreted too.
Yeah.
Because
I want to be in one of those. Jay-Z just recently mentioned came out in an interview and said that he wanted to be in a relationship with no gender roles, where he's in a relationship with someone and that person can cook, he can cook, they can clean, he can clean. It's no gender roles. See, I don't want to be with someone where I'm like the sole, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where they depend on my money, they depend on my lifestyle.
Right.
I would like it to be like where we're kind of more so equal.
I agree with that. Yeah. You know, I was married. And I'm probably not going to get married again. I was married for 8 years. And at the start of the marriage, I made way more money than my husband. And then during the course of the marriage, I quit my job. So I was making no income. And then he made more money. And the dynamic switched. It was like coming out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's some, you know, credibility to that concept. Because there is something that happens when a man doesn't make as much money as the female. And I don't know if it bothers him more than it bothers her.
I think it bothers men when they don't make as much money as you. And also when you're too much of an independent woman, if you ever come off like you don't need a man because of your lifestyle and the way you're able to take care of yourself, right. Not so much attitude and persona, but more so just like they know that once they walk away, or if they left you tomorrow, or if you decided to leave, you'll be okay.
Right.
I think that intimidates a lot of men.
It does. I think it does.
Because see, men haven't fully caught up to the fact that women are progressing a lot now in lives.
Yeah.
But they still want that old school mentality. But a lot of them are offering that old school mentality from their perspective of like, okay, I'm the man, I'm gonna go out, make all the money, come home and take care of you.
Right.
Which back in the day when that happened, it also opened the floodgates to somebody being abusive and controlling.
Right.
and to manipulate. You know
what
I mean?
Stuck.
Because you're stuck.
Right.
But nowadays, women don't have the ability to be stuck anymore, right? So many resources out here. And because a lot of us are educated and we're just, you know, modern. And I think that intimidates a lot of men.
Yeah. What do you think, Dr. King? I mean,
I think you guys are making me want to brush off my resume. Really, I feel like
you need to make some more money.
That's right, man. I go, oh man, my girl's gonna leave me. No, we are both equally broke. So it's good.
Hilarious.
And as long as you guys are match.
Pandemic killed both our careers. No, it's yeah, I agree. I like the way you're thinking too, because I always say, you know, I'm not married to my partner. You know, I mean, a lot of people, you know, we don't correct people when they assume that we're married. You know, we'll let them use those terms, but we're not married. And whenever it comes up and people say, why don't you marry her? I was like, well, look, you know, we're together by choice. You know, we're together because we value each other as partners. We're not, we don't feel obligated, you know, neither of us is obligated to be with the other. I want my partner just as capable of making a living and supporting my daughter as I am. And so, like, if something happens to me, I know that Sarah is going to be able to provide for my kid and without me, you know? And so I think that's really important that we have those opportunities and we both kind of have like our skill set and our career and our ability to bring in an income, you know? So, no,
I mean, like my ex-husband, he, you know, he's a capable guy, right? He's making great money now. And I knew that he would at the time when I married him. I knew that he would. He had goals and he had plans, but he just didn't have any money. And, you know, he was depressed about the shit. Like, how annoying was it to be, you know, trying to already taking care of, you know, the finances primarily, and trying to be a wife and take care of your husband and have him just be sulking all the time because he's broke. So yeah, there's something to be said there. And then, so what about the pandemic? Has the pandemic, Daphne, affected your love life at all that you can tell?
I noticed that prior to the pandemic, I started to see a change.
Okay.
So yeah, but I would say the pandemic I probably mostly didn't date, just focus on myself and my career.
You just been single, you've been by yourself. And then, well, maybe it's affected.
Went out with a couple of people and then figured out that's not the person for me.
Right.
And then kept it moving.
And then it's hard to date during a pandemic. I mean, it's hard to even like
date
match
new people. But sometimes when in the pandemic, you're gonna old people are gonna come back into your life.
Yeah. That's what's happening.
Well, all the rest.
That's what's happening. That's what happened to me recently.
Right, motherfuckers at home lonely.
Yeah.
Calling you up.
Samantha knows nothing about that.
Happened to me.
And then you realize you think that maybe with the whole thing that happened with the pandemic in the world, put a lot of things in perspective for people to maybe hopefully push them, gear them towards change. And then they come back into your life and you realize it's nothing changed.
It's the same old shit.
It's the same old shit. They might be worse.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you. I'm so glad you just volunteered that. Yeah, we're going through the same thing. My ex is sniffing around as we speak.
Yeah, I had an ex sniffing around too. And then it's just gone back to the same old cycle.
Yeah. So everybody's putting everything on pause. It's hard to meet new people. People are not getting married. They're not even getting divorced. They're just waiting this damn thing out. And the guy that I'm seeing right now, the only reason I'm still seeing him is because there was a pandemic, because there was no way to meet anybody new.
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
But you're like, I deserve better.
I'm getting what I want.
Okay.
You know. I'll deserve better when it's time to get there. I don't need any. I don't want to get married again. I'm a savage.
The nice thing is that you guys out in California, you're catching up. You know, you're starting to open up. At least I hear, you know, that the things are happening. You know, like I'm in Texas, right? We've been open since March. You know, we've been having orgies and gangbangs every day. It's been wonderful.
Dr. King. Not behave yourself.
I like how you call me out on that. No, but but it has. So we've been restaurants.
Texas has been open. Texas has been open as fuck for.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah. And we have restaurants and bars and all kinds of stuff. I mean, dating picks up. You know, like when you don't have those things as options, you got to go hiking And as we've established, Samantha don't like hiking. So, what are you going to do?
Exercise. I don't fuck with exercise. I tried the gym. I had a personal trainer for a while. The hiking, it was just like, oh no. I do physical work, but when I do physical work, I need to get paid for it. Like, it just don't feel right. So, but so what's up with you, Daphne? What are you working on right now? Wow, I think we met somewhere along 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've come a long way. What are you working on right now? What are you most excited about right now?
You know what? I get sick of people asking me that question.
Why?
I really do. It's because people put a lot of expectations on you. I'm just living life like everybody else, trying to figure it out day to day.
Well, what you're working on, right? But I changed it. The question is, what are you most excited about?
I'm just living life day to day. I'm taking it one day at a time.
All right.
And that's just my life. You know what I mean? I don't expect too much out of the next day. It's just like every day at the end of the day, I look and see what I'm grateful for, and I'm trying to practice gratitude. And then that's pretty much it. But I noticed that, as I build my social media presence, it's like people are always expecting something more from me. It's just like, just let me live. Just let me live.
But you put a lot out. That's why they expect
I put a lot out. Let me live. I'm figuring it out every single day as everybody else is. I think that's what life is. It's just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. And so comedy is back. Stages are opening.
Yeah, never closed for me.
You are. Oh, it didn't close for you. You were always on set. I saw you at the Laugh Factory. They were doing like this sort of minimal mic every day at 2 p.m.
Yeah,
I saw you there.
And we were actually getting paid during the pandemic. So
nice.
Did that and did Zoom shows, and then did my own virtual shows, and then outdoor stand-up came in effect, whether it was legal or illegal.
Right.
And then, now the city's back open. And then also I was always traveling during the pandemic too. I think even last year I went to like 10 different cities.
Wow.
So you haven't even had time to think about love life or relationship.
Did you even know that there was a pandemic going on?
I've been busy. I know.
You know what? I did for the first 2 weeks. It was traumatizing. But then I was like, I'm not about to let this hold me down.
So the first 2 weeks you had shows canceled?
No, I just had like, oh shit, this is a pandemic. I'm alone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then you got over that shit quick.
Got over it quick.
I like that you I like that you didn't let it stand in your way. That's awesome.
You're so determined. That's one thing I admire about you.
Oh, thank you.
It's just that you're so focused. Like, it's hard to not be distracted. It's hard. That's the human challenge.
I get distracted.
Yeah. But
it's just that my distraction is a little more work ethic than the next person.
Right. I feel that. And
what
is your sign?
I feel like it's stuff I should be doing.
Right. What's your sign?
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Mm-hmm. Scorpio female. I don't know what that means. I ask.
I feel like when you ask
somebody, Capricorns.
I feel like when you ask somebody their sign, you should probably know what it means.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I just assumed I thought she was Capricorn.
No.
Hey, I'm a Capricorn. This is a Capricorn show. That's what
it is. Right. Lots of caps. Well, tell me, so the last date, so you went on a couple of dates during the pandemic, meeting new people, and they were just like, eh.
Yeah, I would get date people off, like these dating sites or whatever. And then, on 2 different sites, I got banned.
What?
What? Kept reporting my page. I think because I would see guys that would fan out because, I do have a large social media following.
Yeah.
So they would fan out and be like, oh my God, you're the girl, you're this, you're that. And I would never respond because I don't want to enter into something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Where somebody is obsessed a little bit. By the way, I can tell they're already messaging me.
Right.
Because the problem is that I don't like going around somebody and everything has to be talking about my life and what I'm doing and who I know and this and this was funny. I don't want to talk about that. Just talk to me like a regular person. I'm knowledgeable in a lot of different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could talk about an array of things. It doesn't always have to be about my career. And then it always leads into you having some type of aspirations to be an actor or a comedian. Where should you perform? I don't even want to enter. So I think when I stop responding to people like that, and I wouldn't just unmatch them.
Yeah.
Then they were reporting my page.
Oh, that's what
saying that I wasn't real because now they approached me and then I wasn't responding. So I think they were reporting me. So I was like banned on a couple of websites.
You need to get on that. You need to get on that website that Ben Affleck was on. What's
I'm on that one too.
Oh, are you? Okay, yeah.
The people on there just really.
Have you met Ben Affleck?
No, but I seen his profile. Yeah, I seen his profile.
Yeah. No. That's. No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, are you dating guys in the industry or not?
Not stand-up comedians, but I'm interested in dating like actors and producers and writers and people like that.
So the guys that were fanning out, these were
just regular people,
not in
people
industry.
with regular jobs. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't even know how you combat that. I mean, I imagine it's different for men. Like men get famous because they want all the, they want to be floating in bitches. But for a female, how do you navigate around that?
Yeah, as a woman, I never really been around a man that was successful and just kept wanting to ask him career. Like, so did you work around this person?
Right.
I don't know if women do that as much as men do it. Men can be the biggest groupies.
That's true.
They can. Because of their pride, they keep that to themselves. But I mean, what I'm saying is, how do you avoid? I mean, you're gonna get a lot of that. Men just fanning out because they recognize you.
Well, that's where it gets back to what you were talking about earlier about you want a man that makes more than you. So you should get a man that's a little bit slightly more famous. It's like, oh,
famous because I can deal with somebody being more famous than me.
Right.
Well, you got like 5 million followers. Okay, I got 10 million followers. Yeah, measure up. You definitely don't want to be on a date with somebody and be like, "Hey, could you please mention me in a tweet? If you're gonna tweet this date, can you please mention me, tag me in it? I need it. I need the bump."
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So now that the pandemic so you're not involved with anyone romantically, not even on the spectrum, huh? Like on the horizon. So now that things are opening up,
I had somebody I was dating, but they blocked me from everything.
Why you getting blocked?
He blocked me from everything. Like, I mean, he's blocked me from everything but Cash App.
What did you do?
So now when I send him a message, it has to be via Cash App.
What y'all communicate on Cash App?
Yeah, he hasn't blocked me on Cash App. I mean, I'm only sending like $2.
You have to send money to be able to send him a note.
Now, at this point, with me spending, I'm up to like $10 that I've sent. I'm like, just block me here too, please. But I've been blocked everywhere.
What the hell? What are you gonna do? Well, the world is opening back up, so you can go on conventional dates.
I mean, I could go out with somebody else tomorrow. That's not it. That's not hard.
But meeting the person
I just don't like meeting new people, and I think that's something I don't like. I don't like meeting new people.
Yeah.
I don't like having to get to know new people. I don't like having to brush you up with all my friends that I like, all the people that I don't like in my life, and what's going over here and what's on that.
It's work.
I just want you to be able to already, sometimes I go back to people that I've already dated because I don't have to brush you up on anything. You already know this person, that person. I could be like, oh, I got some gossip you can drag in, and I know the stuff that you're talking about. Yeah. I hate to have to, okay, well, so let me take you back to 1999. Like, I don't like that.
I can relate.
Yeah, I want you to just already be in it with me.
Right.
And we can reminisce and we can go on. We can talk our little stuff about the other people we know. Like, let me tell you what you call did this weekend. Like, that's my problem. I don't like to get to know new people. And it could rise from my childhood because when I was younger, we moved around a lot. So we were always in a different city. Right. So I always had to get to know people and I hated that. So sometimes I didn't really get to know people around me because I knew we would move to another city.
Right.
So with that being said, it kind of carried on in my adult life. I don't like to get to know new people. Some people think that I'm standoffish or I maybe don't talk that much or I ain't like, hey, girl, like overexcited. It's because I have to warm up to people. I have to be around you. I have to see your personality. I got to see if you'll be friends. Because another thing I hate is if I put myself out there and be nice to you and you're rude to me. So that's another complex I have. So then I wait for you to come around to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that I'm trying to be rude. It's just my personality. And I think a lot of times people nowadays, they don't adapt to, people have different personalities.
Right.
Everybody wants you to be this over the top, exciting person. And I don't trust people like that anyway.
Right.
People that's friends with everybody.
There's something wrong with that. They telling everybody what they want to hear. Well, I can relate to that. We moved around a lot. I don't like meeting new people because it's just a lot of fucking work.
It is a lot of work to meet new people.
It's a lot of work.
That's why I'll stay in something that might not be what I really want because I just don't feel like putting in the work to meet someone new.
Yeah. Yeah. So the pandemic, right. That was like,
and then you put in all that work with someone new and then they don't stick around. So you like, God damn it.
Start over.
Yeah, start over.
Boo.
So
that was
it's like working a new job and having to read the employee manual. Like, don't nobody want to do that.
That was like the flip side of the articles that Samantha was talking about earlier, is that divorce rates have also declined. Like people are postponing divorce and during it's like, well, I wanted to divorce you, but there's a pandemic, so let's just hang out for a little while. It's the same kind of thing.
Same kind of thing, because starting over is a lot of work and it's a huge risk.
And then nobody want to go out there during a pandemic and potentially be alone.
What you mean? Like go out there and fail at trying to couple up?
You leave somebody. Sometimes you ever heard that saying, don't quit your old job until you get a new one?
That's where I am.
Yeah. So you don't quit nothing old till you get something new. So, get you a side piece, fall in love with that person first, and then move on from the other person. But to think you just gonna quit that person, and the way society is now, you just gonna jump into, maybe back 40 years ago, you could just hop into something new. But not nowadays, life don't work like that no more. People are crazy.
Yeah, back then we had
more people with mental illness nowadays. Or you think it's more people that we know? It's a lot of people with personality disorders nowadays.
A lot of people. I think a lot of people.
A lot of narcissists. Narcissism has went up.
Yeah,
it's a lot of things that to me has went up.
A lot of those mental disorders, Dr. King, kind of develop and hit the fan. That's older true. And like later in life, when people are 35, or schizophrenia can set in, for example, mid-30s. A lot of that happens.
Oh, okay.
So isolation. Isolation just brings out these quirks that people have, and that quirk becomes a defining characteristic of your whole personality. It used to be like something cute that you did once in a while. Now it's like you do it all the damn time, and that's who you are.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm in a position where so the ex that's sniffing around, I stopped seeing him 2 years ago. Shortly after that, mama picked something real quick, right? And it was going to be temporary. But here we are almost 2 years later, because what am I going to do? Just be by myself? Right.
That's how they get you. And then you realize they never changed.
Right.
And now you get in it and be like, oh, I realize why I said I'll never get back with you. I realize why I stopped messing with you.
Ugh.
And it's just like, what do you do? But then it's like, I'm always at this conflict, because they say nowadays you got to learn to love people. You got to invest time. You got to try to make it work. You got to do all these things. But it's just like, some things it's like, do you even want to invest in this person? Like, that's where I'm at in my thing, and not wanting to invest. It's like, if I see red flags, to move the hell on. But is that the way to move in life? Are you passing up the right people because you're so busy? Okay, this person had one thing wrong with them.
Right.
So I'm going to move on. We had one argument, disagreement. I'm going to move on.
I think that's a valid point, because we're on different sides of the spectrum, right? You're open to marriage. I'm not. And the reason that I'm not open to marriage is because I don't want to put that work in that you just spoke to. It's not that important for me to sit there and, try to, sift through people's red flags. At the end of the day, everybody's broken. Right. And the people that have been married for years and years, they've been through some shit together. You know what I mean? They're both broken. And so you have to have a level of tolerance and forgiveness and all of that. And I think that being married is of a great value, right? And having someone beside you for the rest of your life, that's a great choice. And you're a blessed person if you find it. But it's work. You know what I mean? You still have to deal with people's red flags. And, I'm too focused. I think like you, I'm too focused on what I'm trying to do for me and my legacy and my children, or whatever your reasons are, right, to put that kind of work in.
And then I notice nowadays too, you get to the point where you just like, man, do I want to put in this work with this person?
Right.
And then you do it, and then one little argument, people are like done with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, give me a chance. We had a disagreement. And I think where I'm starting to have the biggest problem in my dating life is people are fucked up. And I want to hold them accountable. And I'm one of those type of people that want to communicate and hold you accountable.
Right.
And men don't like to be held accountable at all.
They don't like to
They want you to just agree with whatever the hell they did or brush past it. My thing is, okay, today, right? So if you said to me, Daphne, you were late, and I'm like, but I had to park. You see what I'm saying? I'm not taking accountability that I should have looked for parking and all that stuff before I got here. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm the type of person that's going to nitpick with, but you knew.
Right.
But this is what you did.
Right. Yeah. It's all work.
And I reacted off of that. Most people just expect you not to react off their bullshit and just accept it. So with that being said, I have to learn to just take them L's. That people are going to be. But the thing about it, when you don't hold people accountable, they continue to do the same thing and get worse.
Right.
So it's like, it's almost like
it's like how not to be a bitter bitch, right? Yeah, like how not to be a bitter bitch. I get it though. I mean, I don't know if I would classify myself as a bitter bitch, but I ain't fucking with the bullshit. I ain't fucking with it either.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a quick one.
Why you say that?
Because we got to wrap. Oh. Right? Yeah. It felt quick. There were so many more things that I wanted to bring up, but I'm seeing your eyes piercing. And I'm like,
what you mean by piercing?
Well, I wanted to talk to you more about marriage. Piercing meaning like I don't want to overstep. I wanted to talk to you about the importance of marriage before we go in your life. What want to back up because you mentioned how a lot of women, will scream out, I don't need a man, and that sounds so bad. But what if, well, first of all, there are more women than there are more men than there are women on the planet.
On the planet?
Sorry, so more women than there are men on the planet. So some of us are going to be asked out. So like some women are going to die.
And they say black women, statistically, only 1 in 4 of us will get married.
Right. So somebody is going to be asked out. So how important is marriage? Is that something that, some women really, really just all day, every day, like, I'm going to find me a husband. Where are you on that scale?
I think you can always find a husband, but can you find a suitable mate, someone that you can be in it for a lifetime with?
Right.
That's the thing. Anybody can, we could look at us.
Right.
I could easily just walk and just marry. People ask to marry me all the time.
Right.
Strangers, but I could just take one of. One guy made a whole wedding registry online.
Oh, I know, it's such a problem.
And dating and set a date for us to get married. He bought wedding rings and everything, matched our pictures up. So yeah, it's somebody out there to take me.
Right. So it's not the marriage as important.
It's not the marriage is important. It's like, sex fades, lust fades. Can I talk to you every day? Can I get along with you? Can we communicate? Are those things that you can offer me? What can sustain us through time? Like, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
And I just want to have kids. I'm just okay with raising my kids and just like having a father figure there, but we don't have to be together. But then is that a good way to be nowadays? But it's like men nowadays, if you listen to people like Kevin Samuels, right? He sticks with like, this is the position of a woman. But yeah, that was my grandmother, them who didn't really work and who lived off a man. Of course, they could be more submissive and cook. They didn't have nothing
40
to do.
years ago.
40 years ago. But time has progressed. You can't expect me to be all those things that your grandmother was.
Right.
And then not only that, your grandfather cheated on her, had a family down the street, and she stayed because she didn't have the means to leave. Right. So because I don't deal with your bullshit, I'm now classified as an alpha woman, because I say, okay, I'm not gonna struggle through life and be poor and this is the only life that I'm gonna live right now, right? I believe we all live again, but you're never going to remember. But this is my life that I'm living right now.
Right.
I don't want it to be a bad life. So do I wait on a man to save me? Because it's always someone newer. Right. To 40 years ago, black people stayed with black people. White people stayed with white people. Nowadays, my choice of preference is black men. Right. So now we got so many other races after black men. So do I continue to wait around? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Do I continue to be this submissive woman? Because I used to tell people, I know I was younger, but when I was also years ago, before I started to make money and be heavy into my career and ambitious and focused, men came into and wanted to take care of me all the time, or wanted to date me. But as I became more independent, the offers came in less. And then I asked some men, like, what is it? Oh, you're too independent. Oh, I want a woman that's going to stay home. I never forget this attorney that was in my building. And I was like, yeah, would you one day? He said, no, you're too ambitious for me. I want a woman that's going to stay home, cook, clean, and do this. Ooh. I can pay the bills. Ooh. And then I was like, okay, well, then that's not me, right? I don't ever want to have to be so dependent on someone where they can leave you and you're really severely broken. Yeah. I want to be able to be like, oh, yeah, okay, my kid want a car. You can have that. Right. My family needs this. I got it. I want to have generational wealth. I want to have a legacy. I want that my name to mean something to people.
Blow your nose first.
But is that too much to ask because I'm a woman?
Yeah, it's interesting because we're women. It's almost as if the label of independence and money go hand in hand. And in my opinion, it shouldn't. So let me qualify that. If a woman makes money, if I can pay all my bills and take care of my shit, then that could intimidate a man because they feel like you're too independent. Now, I do agree that once you get married, like once you decide, two people choose each other, a woman, each person has to lay down a degree of their independence. You kind of have to merge together. But just because I have money doesn't mean that I can't merge together in this union, right? And let some of my independence aside. But my independence, me personally, is something that I value so much. That's the reason I'm not getting married again. So it's a cloudy, there's a gray area there somewhere,
Yeah. And I would say that. And as I look through the lives of so many women that marry successful men, you can't have two successful people. Look at what happened with Brad and Angelina Jolie.
Oh my God.
When she got married and started having those kids, her career it flatlined. You know what I mean? His career progressed. Somebody has to take the back burner. And it's not too many men that you're going to meet that's going to want to take the back burner unless they're an alpha male who really don't want shit and not that ambitious. But if you're with a man that's an alpha male, and I hate being classified as an alpha female because I work hard.
Right.
It's like,
right.
I figure an alpha is someone that is controlling, that wants things their way. I'm willing to adjust to whatever you have going on as long as you respect me. And then you're also considered an alpha female nowadays because you don't allow disrespect from men, because I'm not going to allow you to talk down on me, belittle me, and tell me and make me feel like I'm worthless and control me and want me to fall into these gender roles of 50 years ago. I'm considered an alpha.
Alpha female is bad. It's bad to be.
A lot of men say, "Oh, you're alpha females or whatever. You're gonna be by yourself, or you gotta find a beta male." But they're classifying you as an alpha female because you won't allow their bullshit. I think it's more so that
these broke niggas,
not pretty much, or a man that's just like, "Nah, I want you to stay home." Because you want to work, you're alpha female. And it's like, no, an alpha female would be more so as somebody that's in control, dominant and stuff like that. But I don't have to have those characteristics. I'm just going to always make sure I'm okay.
Right.
But you're classified as an alpha female because you
have a voice and you have your own money.
And I don't have to belittle a man or talk down to a man, but because I won't let you talk down to me, and I'll speak up for myself and say, oh, I don't like how you talk to me or how you handle this situation. Oh, you're too independent. They really just want you to be submissive and just take their abuse.
Right. Take the bullshit.
Yeah.
And not hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Well, big up to alpha females, alpha women, alpha males, and everybody in the dating game. Good luck out there with the pandemic pause that's happening, with the divorce rate and the marriage rate. I'm sitting pretty where I am. I'm comfortable. I don't have to make any decisions right now. But I wish you the best of luck in that area. And it is very gratifying to see your career blow all the way up. And thank you so much for coming here in studio to do my podcast, Daphnique.
Always.
Where can they find you online?
Okay, my name is Daphnique Springs, and you can always find all my information on my website at www.imdsprings.com.
There it is. And I think we had your handle up. You're at there it is, IMD Springs, Daphnique Springs. Every time I see your name now, I remember you on stage talking about, what do you call your name? Sounds like a what?
A ghetto bottle of water. That's what somebody said.
Every time I see this bottle of water. Well, listen, again, I appreciate you guys. Go online and follow her. She is a very extremely dynamic actress, and she has a million skits and tons of content out there for you guys to absorb. So, Dr. Brian King, any questions for Daphnique or anything to say before we head out?
Nah, man, but let me just tell you, when the two of you were talking back and forth about alphas this, alphas that, I'm just like, oh my God, I need to get the hell out of this conversation. No, Daphnique, you're a wonderful guest. Thank you so much for joining us on our show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, listen, you can, Dr. Brian King and I both wrote books. We are science authors as well as comedians. And I wrote a book called The Complete Player. You can find the ebook or the paperback on Amazon. The book spells apart the brain science of love, sex, addiction, and self-worth. And there it is. And Dr. Brian King wrote another excellent book called The Art of Taking It Easy. He's had great success. Also available on Amazon. You can get the hardback paperback or the ebook. And you want to plug anything else there, Brian?
The Art of Taking It Easy is my current book. It's still doing really well. Right now it's being sold internationally again, which is fantastic. I'm super excited about it. I got another book coming up, a couple more things down the pipe that I don't want to talk about yet, but I do want to point out that if you like my books, keep an eye out because there's another one coming soon.
Right on. I love it. You guys, thanks for joining us. And remember, you can watch us live. You can watch the replay here. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and share. And this has been another case of the King-Abrams Show. We out.
Bye.
Straight up.